There is a secret that a narcissist will never want you to uncover, a truth they hide behind a confident mask and sweet manipulative words. They are not afraid of your moments of weakness, not your tears, not the times you crumble under their pressure. No. What truly terrifies them is the quiet strength that burns within you. A strength that doesn't need to scream or roar, but shines through calmness, self-possession, and the unshakable ability to stand tall even when they no longer have a leash wrapped around your neck. I've seen this unfold in countless stories, from people who once thought they could never escape to the moment they finally lifted their heads, looked straight into the eyes of their manipulator and said, enough. When you begin to walk on your own 2 feet, when you no longer shrink beneath their venomous words, when you no longer crave validation from the hands that once strangled you, that is the moment the narcissist foundation begins to crack. They cannot bear the thought that you could live, no, not just live, but thrive without them being the center of your universe. And when that power within you becomes too strong, too undeniable, they will reveal their most alarming behaviors, from covert traps to desperate attempts to drag you back into the shadows you so bravely escaped. In today's video, we will peel back the curtain on 10 tactics narcissists use when they realize you've grown too strong to be manipulated. Sharp-edged comments disguised as concern, well-scripted performances designed to crush your spirit, and those final blows meant to shake the newfound confidence you've just reclaimed. But I am here not only to expose them, I'm here to walk alongside you who have once felt lost, who have questioned whether you even deserved freedom. Awareness is the first flame of liberation, and once you understand these tactics, you won't just see through them, you will recognize the extraordinary power waiting for you to claim it. Stay with me until the end, because this isn't just a story about them, this is a story about you. About the journey of becoming the most resilient version of yourself. And I want to hear from you. What helped you rise? Share a moment, a thought, or even just a word in the comments below. Your voice is light in this journey, and I look forward to walking it with you. Are you ready? Let's begin. Psychological undermining strategy. When a narcissist senses that you're becoming stronger, when your self-possession begins to slip beyond the reach of their manipulation, they don't rush into open confrontation. No, they are far more cunning than that. They initiate a subtle but ruthless strategy, undermining your spirit, bit by bit, like a saboteur slowly poisoning the clear stream of confidence you've just reclaimed. Picture them standing there with a faint smile on their lips, making seemingly harmless remarks. You did well, but maybe be a little more careful next time, or I like how hard you try, even if you can be a bit clumsy sometimes. These are not daggers. They are seeds of doubt, planted strategically to take root in your mind and make you begin to ask, am I really good enough? In psychology, this is the first step in a process known as gaslighting, making you question your own perception and value day by day, moment by moment. Then they upgrade the game with backhanded compliments, a narcissist's specialty, so sharply delivered, you don't realize you're bleeding until it's too late. You're smart, but you overthink everything. Must be exhausting, they say with a gentle tone, while quietly slicing into your self-esteem. And if you dare to react, to express that those words hurt you, they will flip the script immediately. I was just joking. You're too sensitive, or if you can't handle the truth, that's your problem. This isn't accidental. This is a deliberate psychological strike designed to make you feel like the weak one, too emotional, too fragile to handle the truth they fabricated. Their goal is crystal clear: to trap you in a cycle of self-doubt where you begin to mistrust your own judgment and constantly live under the shadow of what if I'm wrong. But here's the truth I want you to hold close, a truth the narcissist never wants you to discover. Your confidence is not theirs to dismantle. They do this not because you are weak, but because they are terrified of the strength you're building. Every belittling remark, every sugar-coated insult is proof of their desperation to keep you under their control. Don't let them succeed. Turn awareness into your weapon. When you see the game, you no longer have to play by their rules. I'm here to help you flip the script. If you found value in this, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the tactics we'll expose next. And share in the comments, have you ever heard a compliment that made you question yourself? Tell me your story, because your voice doesn't just help you heal, it lights the way for others still fighting to break free. You are stronger than they ever imagined. Let's prove it together. 2. Escalating public criticism. When subtle belittlement and backhanded compliments no longer shake your growing confidence, the narcissist raises the stakes. They escalate to public criticism. No longer whispering poison in private, they now air their attacks under bright lights in front of friends, family, or anyone they can gather as an audience, turning you into a target in a calculated campaign to crush your spirit. Imagine them standing there, voice smooth but cutting like a blade, making comparisons like, "I see you're trying, but she handles this so much better," or "If you were more like so-and-so, maybe things wouldn't be this difficult." These are not casual remarks. They are precision-guided arrows aimed directly at your self-worth, designed to make you feel perpetually inferior, never good enough in their eyes or anyone else's. Each little comment, seemingly harmless, is a sugar-coated bullet fired with the intent to wear you down. In psychology, this manipulation is known as triangulation, bringing a third party into the dynamic to create jealousy, insecurity, and competition. They want you to stand there, ears ringing with comparisons, heart pounding with shame, and eventually, in a moment of weakness, look back at them, not with defiance, but with a desperate plea for approval. That's their victory, not to break you in one blow, but to lure you into voluntarily surrendering your power, to make you believe that you can't stand tall without their validation. They turn you into a fighter in an arena of their making, but a fighter who is never allowed to win. And 3, blame shifting. As your strength continues to grow and public criticism fails to bring you down, the narcissist pulls out another weapon from their manipulative arsenal, blame shifting. This is a calculated psychological move designed to make every failure, every negative emotion they experience, somehow your fault, as if you were holding the strings of every misfortune in their life. Imagine them saying, with a mix of frustration and feigned heartbreak, "If you hadn't left, I wouldn't be in this mess." Or, "It's your stubbornness that made everything fall apart." These aren't confessions of vulnerability. They are daggers meant to pierce your conscience, to make you feel like the root of their suffering, even though it is they who have created the chaos they live in. In psychology, blame shifting is a classic defense mechanism for narcissists because their fragile ego cannot bear the weight of accountability. Rather than face the mirror and accept that their failures in relationships, work, or personal growth are the consequences of their own choices, they turn to you as the scapegoat. They want you standing there, weighed down with guilt, your mind spinning with thoughts like, "What can I do to fix this? How can I make them happy again?" They cast you as the unwitting rescuer, pulling you into a cycle where you feel obligated to change, be gentler, more accommodating, more self-sacrificing, just to calm the emotional storm they themselves created. But make no mistake, this is not accidental. It is a deliberate strategy to keep you destabilized, to make you believe that their happiness is a burden you are meant to carry. But here's the core truth I want you to hold onto. You are not responsible for how they feel or how they act. They blame you not because you're at fault, but because they cannot survive without someone else to absorb their insecurities. Every time they point a finger at you, they are inadvertently revealing just how incapable they are of standing on their own. Don't let that false burden crush you. Recognize that you are not the caretaker of their chaos, and you are certainly not the fixer of their broken pieces. Your freedom lies in dropping the backpack of guilt they've thrown on your shoulders, letting it fall and letting them face it alone. They may blame, but you can break free, not to please them, but to finally live for yourself in a world where your worth is not defined by how much pain you're willing to carry. 4. They isolate you. When a narcissist sees that you no longer crumble under blame or public criticism, when they realize that your strength comes not only from within, but also from the support system surrounding you, they resort to a more ruthless tactic, isolating you from your loved ones. This isn't a direct attack, but a subtle, step-by-step dismantling of the most precious relationships you have, your friends, your family, the ones who were your safe harbor in the storm they created. Imagine them stepping in, their voice soft but laced with hidden intent. "I just want what's best for you, but your friends don't really understand you like I do." Or "Your family always interferes, they don't see your worth the way I do." These are not words of care. They are poisonous drops disguised as concern, sowing seeds of doubt and conflict between you and those you love most. In psychology, this is a classic narcissistic play. Tactics to increase your dependence on them. They know your strength doesn't just come from your inner resilience, it also comes from the people who remind you who you are when they try to make you forget. So they begin their sabotage. A casual remark that makes you question your friend's intentions. A subtle comment that makes you feel your family isn't truly on your side. They may even fabricate stories. I heard your friend was talking behind your back, or feign concern to put you further away. I'm just afraid your family's putting too much pressure on you. All of it hidden under the mask of love and care, but the real goal is clear: to turn you into a lonely island where they are the only lifeline you have left. But here's the truth they never want you to see. Your relationships are sacred, and you have the right to protect them from their manipulative grip. They cast doubt not because your friends or family are flawed, but because they fear the light those people bring into your life. The light that reminds you that you are lovable without conditions, that you don't need to live under their shadow. Every attempt to divide you from your support system is a reflection of their desperation. They can't stand the idea of you having an army of love behind you. Don't let them win. Nurture your connections. Listen to your heart instead of their toxic whispers. They may try to isolate you, but you can choose connection, not to please them, but to build a world where you never again stand alone in the face of manipulation. 5. Spreading rumors. Distorting the truth. When their isolation tactics fail, when they see you still holding on to the meaningful bonds in your life despite their sabotage, they'll unleash a weapon even more cruel: rumors and distortion of truth. I know your pain. The feeling of being betrayed not just by them, but by the suspicious glances of people you once trusted. The whispers behind your back that make you question whether you are truly who they say you are. They begin subtly with vague, seemingly harmless comments like, "I don't want to say anything bad, but there are things about her people should know," or "he's not as honest as he seems." These seeds of doubt are planted carefully, just enough to shake others' trust in you, yet not obvious enough for you to confront. Then they escalate. From vague insinuations, they spin entire false narratives, casting themselves as the wounded victim while painting you as a heartless villain. "She abandoned me when I needed her most," they'll say tearfully to anyone who listens. "He manipulated me. I was just trying to survive." These aren't reflections of truth. They are scripts choreographed by a narcissist who cannot tolerate rejection. A hollow soul who only knows how to survive by draining the life out of others. They don't care about the pain their lies cause you, the grief of lost friendships, the isolation of being pushed to the margins. All they care about is standing on a podium, applauded by an audience of the deceived. But this is what I want you to remember, a truth the narcissist hopes you'll never realize. Their lies don't define you, they expose them. Every false rumor is a crack in their mask, a glimpse into the desperation of someone who cannot live without a stage to perform on, a scapegoat to blame. I know it hurts. I've seen those silent tears, those sleepless nights, wondering how someone could be so cruel. But transform that pain into power. You are not the villain in their story, you are the hero of your own. Don't let their web of lies entrap you. Cut through it with your truth by living with authenticity and resilience. They may twist words, but they can never twist your spirit. Let it shine, no matter what. 6, playing the victim. When they can no longer dominate you with power or threats, they put on a new mask. The mask of suffering, hoping your empathy, the most beautiful part of your soul, will weaken. You've changed. I just don't matter to you anymore. These whispers are not the voice of someone genuinely hurting. They are the desperate cries of an ego losing control. They know you once loved them, once cared for their feelings, once sacrificed yourself to hold the relationship together, and now they use that memory against you, turning past love into a double-edged sword, cutting into your compassion to make you feel guilty for becoming strong. They don't mourn love, they mourn power. What they want is not reconciliation, it's the return of an obedient puppet who bows their head at their command. But listen closely. You are not at fault for growing, for awakening, for walking away from a relationship that drained your soul. Change is not betrayal, it is evolution. And if someone makes you feel guilty for learning to love yourself, that's not love, it's manipulation wrapped in emotion. The teary words, the dramatic tales of the past, the sorrowful eyes, they are all part of a carefully choreographed play where they are the perfect victim and you the supposed heartless villain. Don't let them rewrite your story with false narratives. You are not the villain. You are the one who dared to rise, to walk, to heal. Don't apologize for guarding your boundaries. Don't feel guilty for no longer being fragile. Your strength is not a threat. It's a testament to a soul that survived darkness and chose light. And remember this: those who truly love you will celebrate your strength. They will never use your growth as a weapon to shame you. 7. Imposing unrealistic standards on you. A narcissist doesn't openly deny your value. Instead, they pretend to be well-meaning, offering advice or pretending to cheer you on, only to keep you chasing standards they've set themselves. But in truth, these standards are nothing more than an ever-climbing ladder that never leads to genuine recognition. Only a maze designed to trap you in self-doubt. When you achieve something you're proud of, they'll smirk and say, that's good, but it's just the beginning. When you earn a promotion, they'll quietly jab. Real success is when you run the company, not just manage it. And when you rise even higher, they'll simply move the finish line again. If you were truly exceptional, you'd have international influence by now. They don't want you to celebrate your success. They want you to always feel like you're never enough. Because in a narcissist world, recognition is not a reward for your effort. It's a tool to control you. When you feel inadequate, you'll keep striving to please them. When you doubt yourself, you'll begin to rely on them for validation. And the more exhausted you become trying to prove your worth, the stronger their power grows. They don't want you to succeed unless your success still lives under their shadow. If you shine independently, they feel threatened. So they try to dim your light with insidious remarks, or truly successful people don't brag online like that. And before you realize it, your joy has been quietly stolen by someone who always claimed to love you, but you weren't born to live under someone else's warped measuring stick. You don't need anyone to keep moving the finish line to prove you're heading in the right direction. You don't need someone who defines your worth through their own void. Every step forward is worthy of celebration, without comparison, without condition. Remember, your success does not require a narcissist's approval. Belief in yourself is the only validation you need. And every time they move the goalpost, smile and remind yourself, I'm no longer running the race you created. I'm walking my own path, and that's something you will never be able to control. A triangulation strategy. When rumors and distorted truths begin to lose their grip and the narcissist sees you still standing strong despite their lies, they'll reach for another venomous tactic, bringing a third party into the story to create conflict and division. I understand your pain. That sense of shock when those you once relied on suddenly turn their backs, the cracks in your relationships with friends, family, or coworkers that you can't explain until you realize it all traces back to the narcissist's manipulation. They don't attack you directly. No, they're far too cunning for that. Instead, they bring a third person onto their stage, saying things like, I'm only saying this because your friend told me I should warn you, or your mother said you've been losing control. I just want to help. These words are invisible daggers, carefully crafted to rupture the bonds in your life without leaving fingerprints. In psychology, this is called triangulation, a favorite tactic of narcissists to sow discord and isolate you without leaving a trail. They turn the third party into a pawn, sometimes an unknown accomplice, sometimes a deliberate flying monkey used to inject doubt and conflict between you and your loved ones. They want you standing in confusion and pain, wondering why your friends stopped texting, why your family feels distant while the narcissist watches silently from the sidelines, wearing a smug smile of victory. What's their true identity? Not a concerned protector, but a malicious director, orchestrating a play in which you lose everyone around you until only they remain, posing as the lone hero in your life, a false hero who feeds off your love, your trust, your pain. But here's the truth they hope you'll never discover. Fractured relationships aren't your fault, and you have the power to mend or protect them. They introduce a third party not because you're weak, but because they fear the strength you possess when surrounded by authentic love. Every conflict they create is a silent confession that they're terrified of your support system. Don't let them rob you of the people you cherish. Speak the truth. Talk openly with those being pulled into their web and hold tight to those who truly see you. They may pull strings, but you can cut them. Not to appease the narcissist, but to safeguard your world where you deserve to be loved without a manipulator at the center. 9, they exploit your compassion. They know exactly where to strike, the softest part of you, your compassion. And they won't hesitate to weaponize it to mask their true nature. through tearful stories of a wounded childhood, tales of painful scars from the past, or repeated narratives of personal tragedy recited like a sacred hymn. They craft an image of a suffering soul, not to heal, but to make you lower your defenses and hand them the keys to your life once more. Please understand, I only behave this way because I've been betrayed before. If you knew what I've been through, you wouldn't judge me. These are their go-to phrases, not for healing, but for control. They don't share to connect, they share to manipulate. And you, with your tender heart, begin to feel guilty, asking yourself, am I being too harsh? Or maybe I'm not being empathetic enough. But here's the truth you must stay grounded in. Pain from the past is never an excuse to harm others in the present. Many carry wounds from their history, but they choose healing, not spreading pain. Narcissists are different. They have no desire to heal. Their pain is a tool, a free pass for cruelty and irresponsibility. You are not their healer. You are not born to be a remedy for a soul that refuses to recover, a soul that only wants to drain your kindness dry. Don't let their tears blur your clarity. Don't let their tragic stories become a reason to keep forgiving unacceptable behavior. Don't let your compassion become the shackle that keeps you bound to a toxic relationship. Your compassion is a sacred gift. Don't place it in the hands of someone who only uses it to manipulate. Guard your empathy with a firm heart. Learn to say, I understand your pain, but I won't allow you to keep hurting me. Because forgiveness does not mean allowing repeated harm, and compassion doesn't mean self-sacrifice in the name of someone's dysfunction. Healing doesn't come from enduring, it comes from rising and saying, I deserve a love that doesn't hurt. 10. Mixed, praise and criticism. When the narcissist realizes that their attempts to sever your ties with loved ones haven't fully succeeded, when they see you still standing strong despite the invisible daggers they've thrust into your relationships, they unveil a new psychological weapon, intermittent reinforcement. This is a tactic that is both sweet and brutal, a manipulation wrapped in mixed praise and subtle humiliation. I understand your pain, the feeling of being torn between rare moments of warmth and the sudden chills of rejection. The confusion that creeps in when you ask yourself, have they really changed? Or am I just being played again? One day, they shower you with flattery, whispering sweet nothings like, you're truly special, no one compares to you, only to coldly cut you down the next day. You always disappoint me. This is not emotional inconsistency. It is a calculated strategy designed to destabilize you, to drag you into an emotional storm where they hold the wheel. In psychology, intermittent reinforcement is one of the most powerful manipulation tools, akin to how a gambler becomes addicted to a slot machine. The unpredictability of rewards keeps you craving more. They alternate between affection and withdrawal, praise and criticism, playing puppet master with your emotions so that you begin to live for those fleeting crumbs of recognition they toss your way. Behind their affectionate facade is the truth, not a sincere partner, but a narcissist addicted to control, someone who enjoys watching you bend and break, waiting eagerly for every little drop of attention they hand out like favors. They don't do it because they value you. They do it to keep you in the cage, to ensure you never step beyond the reach of their influence. But here is the truth I want you to hold close in the midst of that storm. A sharp, liberating truth that the narcissist never wants you to see. You are not a puppet in their game. Your emotions do not have to dance to the strings they pull. Every time they shift from praise to scorn, they don't prove their power, they expose their weakness, the desperation of someone who knows they cannot keep you unless they mess with your mind. I know you're tired of the emotional whiplash, of the sleepless nights wondering why they can't love you consistently, why you still crave their approval. But turn that exhaustion into your weapon. You deserve steady love, not the crashing waves of a manipulator's mood swings. They may pull emotional strings, but you can cut them, not to please them, but to free yourself. To step into a world where you define your own joy, not a narcissist with a two-faced smile. And so when the narcissist has thrown every weapon in their arsenal, subtle put-downs, public criticism, blatant blame, isolation tactics, smear campaigns, mixed praise, and cruelty, all in a desperate attempt to pull you back into the cage they so carefully built, remember this: their game is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your freedom. I see the scars they've left behind, the pain of being doubted, the isolation of being cut off, the emotional chaos of their psychological games. But here's the bitter truth they never want you to realize. Every tactic they use is a silent confession of their own weakness, a desperate cry from someone who cannot exist without control, who cannot stand tall unless they have someone else to keep beneath them. They are not powerful, they are panicked, and you are living proof that they've already lost the moment you chose to walk away. You are not a victim in this story. You are a warrior, a soul that saw through their polished mask and chose truth over illusion. Let your wounds become your badges of resilience, and let every step you take away from them be a bold declaration: I no longer need your approval to know my worth. I invite you to share in the comments what helped you break free. Let's light the path together, because you are not just surviving, you are thriving, and this is your victory.